This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Good morning. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here. Let's go ahead and get into this thing because I want to talk about the different things that are taking place right now that I think we can really show a synchronization, a coordination, an orchestration, and a whole bunch of things that rhyme with gymnasium. No, I'm kidding. But we will talk about a bunch of things that I believe we're going to clearly see that are happening. And this is the stuff we want to pay attention to. And then we're going to finish off with some other material. So, okay, so let's go ahead and start with the numbers, guys. The numbers are by Unstoppable Domains. Guys, you've been crushing it with unstoppable domains, and so have I. And I'm going to have some really, really cool news that's coming for you about something that I'm doing with my domains that is very cool. And by the way, I will be shouting out a few of you that have some incredible domains. I have seen so many. I'm going to do a couple spot feature like throughout occasional videos where I actually celebrate you guys and the cool domains that you have to try to bring some attention to it. Remember, you can list them on OpenSea for sale and you'll be able to sell them there. So we'll try to help a few of you do that. Okay, so keep crushing it on there and I will too. I just keep coming up with things. I'm addicted to it and I love it. And I've gotten some great names. Anyway, let's go. As you can tell, I love it. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, Bitcoin is $10,993.49. Ethereum, $382.56. And XRP is 25 cents. All right, looking at this right now, the market cap for XRP is $11 billion too, and we got 0.2504. We're almost 25 cent flat. The 24-hour volume is 1.8 billion. We're down 1.3% on that, and the total circulating supply is now 45 billion, 42 million plus. Those are your numbers. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this and take a look at the information. One thing real quick, we have here from XRP Crypto Wolf, DeFi reminds me so much of 2017, the ICO boom, which eventually led to the biggest bull run in crypto history. Making a great point here from XRP Crypto Wolf about DeFi and the impact that it can have. So, pointing out here BitTrue and what they're doing, make sure you check it out. I like BitTrue. I get all my altcoins using BitTrue because not everything that I want is on, like, let's say Coinbase or just Uphold, which are other exchanges I like as well. All right, so looking at that, let's keep moving and get into this because we got a lot to cover this morning here. Okay, here we go. Ripple is hiring a VP platform and technical operations personnel. It will lead teams to deliver the scalable services and support infrastructure for Spring developers, engineering, data information security, and corporate infrastructure teams across Ripple. Now, this is pretty remarkable because Ripple is hiring at a time when the world has been shut down, because it was designed for a moment like this and everyday use, right? But the reality is that a moment like this, where the world has had a deliberate shutdown due to a failing global economy and a liquidity crisis, then on top of that, we had a health crisis situation happen. So you combine the two, and what you start to see is a real clear purpose show up for XRP. And that's something I want to highlight too. Use case. Well, the new watermark in this crypto space is about to become use case utility. And if your token or coin doesn't have one, sayonara, because you're not going to make it out here. Now, there will always be white papers and projects pursued to try to get the innovation in tech and solve a pain point. But again, if you're not out here to solve a pain point, which means you can bring use case to the industry as it grows, you will fail, period. The reality here is, lucky for us, I certainly believe, my personal opinion, Ripple has been running the long game, and the long game is building the market infrastructure while everybody else complains about the price of Ripple. And the reality is you're about to find out that all that long game of building that market infrastructure is about to pay huge huge on the back end because of what they're going to be able to do in the manner of synchronization. And that is working with all of these partners that they've connected with in harmony to be able to service entire industries across the world. All right, let's go ahead and look at this. Bahamas is set to edge out global powers such as China. Sweden become the first country to roll out a nationwide central bank digital currency. Come on in. Following several months of pilot testing, the Bahamian sand dollar is set to be rolled out in October. Wow. Listen, first of all, congratulations to Bahamas. And you know what? It's an international hotspot. There's people from all around the world coming there. This gets very interesting. And it also gets interesting on the side of things where what happens and what is the implications for cryptocurrency in large when a central bank digital currency, has been created here and used by a particular nation. So this is pretty remarkable. We're going to keep an eye on this. And we also know that other central bank digital currencies are being created, tested as well. We see this through MasterCard building a pilot test platform for several central bank digital currencies to be tested on, as well as, I'm sure, the Bahamian sand dollar. This is remarkable. Again, more synchronization, more harmony happening. We're going to take a look at some more information. Let's keep going. Instant payment systems should become the new normal by the end of 2021. Well, you know what that means in long and short? There's a lot happening today that you don't know about. Because you can't just say, I'm going to wiggle my nose and it'll be ready by the end of next year. In order to get it ready by the end of next year, we got to have the bridge built before next year. So it's exciting to me because it just really does mean, in my mind, that there is so much going on and we only see just the surface, much like an iceberg, right? They say 3/4 of an iceberg is what you can't see, and what you actually see is only a small portion. So I think of it in the same manner of that, and there's more done than we'll ever be able to know until it's fully rolled out and launched, and we're getting ever so close to that happening. Now, a little further to that point, European Union plans to incorporate crypto and blockchain into its main processes by 2024. Over the next 4 years, the Economic Union aims to firm up fresh regulations that will promote blockchain digital asset usage for the international money transfers. You don't say. Moving on, let's keep this going. We're going to build on it because at the same time that that's happening, coming back to the CFTC, the Commission has unanimously approved the final rule that will permit derivatives clearing organizations organized outside of the U.S. to be registered with the CFTC. This sounds like everybody's on a new system, and we'll allow you over in Europe or some other place in the world to settle these derivatives clearing organizations. Will be able to settle these derivatives and these transactions. How? Because they're more than likely on distributed ledger technology, blockchain, where it's an immutable path and they can clearly see it and they feel good enough about it to know that I don't need you sitting right here beside me to understand whether or not you're executing these things correctly. And that to me is a pretty remarkable sign that the U.S. has, again, there is a lot happening behind the scenes where everybody gives the lagged approach. They're behind. I think they're behind intentionally because they're the largest economy in the world. And if they had forecasted what they're going to do too early or too soon, I think the impact on the crypto space would be too heavy before they're ready. And the fact of the matter is, this is about being ready. This is about having the market infrastructure in place. We can't play if we don't have a ball. We can't play if we don't have rules to the game. We can't play if we don't have enough players for both sides. The reality here is exactly that. And that's where it comes in to where you see someone like Ripple who has been building the infrastructure so all of this can even take place to begin with. And if you don't have the ability to participate today, you can simply plug into something like RippleNet, and the customers on RippleNet and that cloud-based services platform will be able to serve you greatly because everyone on that platform is ISO 2022 and governance and compliance built into the network. So you could participate without actually being ready yet yourself. And that is a part of that synchronization and harmony, I really do believe. Okay. Kraken Financial CEO explains the ins and outs of the first crypto bank. Now, this is important as well. We're going to take a look at this really quickly. He cites three things that are really important to them getting a banking license. We're going to look at those in just a second. But one of the things I want to point out to you is, do you think for a second that the U.S. is this far behind to allow something like this to take place? If they weren't prepared to handle the wave of crypto exchanges and virtual asset service providers to prepare to start to file for a banking license, which means they have to understand what the tax implications are. They have to have clear understanding of that. They have to have clear understanding of what exactly is going to be allowed once you have a banking license. So all of this, to me, is clearly understood and just not revealed in a public way yet, or otherwise this doesn't happen. So let's take a look real quick. On September 16th, Kraken announced that it attained regulatory approval from the world's first regulated crypto bank. The new entity, which is called Kraken Financial, will be a special purpose depository institute based in the U.S. state of Wyoming. The CEO, newly certified bank, David Kanitsky, spoke that with the host of Unconfirmed podcast, Laura Shin, at length in an interview. Kanitsky shed more light on why Kraken decided to launch a crypto bank and what specifically they would be able to do with this new status. So this is really cool because he says here, has three primary objectives for becoming a bank. First is regulatory. We're going to be in a much better position as a bank in a consolidated fashion without having to go state by state in a money transmitter regime or something like that. And we'll be able to conduct certain activities that otherwise couldn't. Second is infrastructure and the ability to get good partners. According to Kanitsky, this is one could prove particularly crucial as crypto firms have a history of precarious banking relationships. And this is huge. So now they can get lending from other banks and they can work with other banks because we're the same as you now. And it's really remarkable. And that's going to continue to multiply itself as more companies and crypto exchanges come in to do exactly the same and normalize the space. Okay. Here we have, as he puts it, Kraken is lucky to enjoy solid third-party banking relationships, but the fact of the matter is it is very important for us to get direct access to the federal payment system and be able to integrate that into our customer experience. We're talking about FDIC, the whole bit, baby. So that's pretty remarkable, too. Last, he stated that this is an entirely new product and distribution platform. By this, Kanitsky refers to an expanded ability to offer products and services, or products and service customers, especially institutional ones. Come on in. That this would not be taking place if there was not a clear understanding of how the U.S. is going to take a stance to enforce, regulate, monitor cryptocurrency going forward and stable coins. I just don't believe it, and don't believe it. It's still true. I think we're going to see this roll out in a very big way not too long from now. Experienced managing director Sandy Bragar claims that the payment giant PayPal is currently working on making possible for merchants to accept cryptocurrency on CNBC's Squawk Box. Now, listen, this speaks to everything I'm talking about. A traditional company, which is a fintech company, right? Payment company. But nevertheless, they're working to make this possible for merchants to accept it. We're really only one giant step away from where we really need to accept it. We need a country like the U.S. to start accepting cryptocurrency for taxes. The moment that happens, you have normalized this to a level that is just it's above reproach, right? So this to me speaks again to reinforcing the synchronization, the harmony that's coming out. You haven't seen that federal charter yet, but Brian Brooks has told you it's coming, and you understand that the OCC is not going to be trumped by another regulatory agency because it can't. You understand that the OCC does not need the approval of Congress to do what it is doing. Let's keep moving. Okay, so here we go. Now, this is from I Am Legion, who's on fire. Bam, boom, bam, bam, boom, bam. Yeah. All right, central bank news here. Thank you, I Am Legion. A new direction for Swift Company over the next 2 years and beyond. We will fundamentally transform payments and securities process and retooling cross-border infrastructure as a part of the new strategy approved by our board. Now, listen, I just want to show you some of these follow-up tweets, posts here that he has that really show you ripples in every single one of them. And if I could just say and remind you before we look at that here's the ISO Standard Body Committee, where Ripple was just recently, a few months ago, elected to that committee to pursue as the first member to focus on distributed ledger technology. And then all of a sudden, we hear that Swift has put out this information that they're about to do a whole bunch of retooling with cross-border infrastructure, knowing that they already have GPI hooked up to coordinate with R3 and the Corda platform, which has the ability to source payment settlement through the Corda settler, which uses a digital asset XRP as well. So twofold things are happening here. Now let's look at just some of these diagrams that really show it. Notice a consistent theme here. Ripple in this payment structure, in this whole layout and payment structure. Well, let's keep going, because it doesn't stop there, because you know how I Am Legion does it. He gives you the whole thing, not just some of it. So here it is. Ripple is an open payment protocol. Swift right here. And where are we? Right there. ACH, right? The Federal Reserve, Bank of America, PayPal. Isn't that interesting? Settlement infrastructures like Standard Charters over here. Look, we're at the bottom of all of this. We're the foundation of all of these things. It goes on and on and on. It's just remarkable. Just showing you some of these posts and diagrams here really quickly. Here's another one. Looky here. Swift GPI, Ripple, encompassing all of these things, including Swift. I want you to pay attention to the next video I put out, because I'm going to give you a diagram of some things that I think are extremely important to take note of. And it's an overview, and we're going to look at that. And here's one more that just drives it home here too. Look at this. ACH, immediate payments, RTGS, mobile wallets, RippleNet payments. There you go. All of this is going to happen. When? I don't know. If I knew that, I tell you what, I don't know if I'd have to worry about having a YouTube channel, because I'd be like the amazing Kreskin. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at this as a reinforcer. We've covered this before, but this is just to drive home the narrative of synchronization and harmony and a correlation, a coordination, an orchestration, however you want to encompass the understanding in a phrase. This is what's taking place. So I want to just make that clear. Swiss banking giant unites Ripple and Swift on one platform. And, you know, it's just remarkable to me. And again, they're on the ISO 2022 standards body, the first member to focus on distributed ledger technology. This is why they're there. This is the de facto standard, global standard for modern payments. And RippleNet is the one making it happen for all of those entities. And again, if you're not able to upgrade to those things, you can simply participate in using and sourcing RippleNet, and that will get you compliant. Period. Now, before we go, I just simply want to say this. Guys, if you haven't downloaded the Link2 app and registered with Link2, please do. Even if you're not an accredited investor, listen, you will get access to global conferences. You will get access to watch people like the Tim Drapers and the Greg Kids of the world, and even Digital Asset Investor, and sometimes myself in these panels, to talk about these things and to really get the questions about what these people believe about this space. And I tell you what, it is really invaluable insight and information to see, firsthand see how these people are really excited. That last conference we just had, and you will be able to be in these conferences and in some cases even participate and talk to these people. So it's pretty remarkable experience. So even if you're not an accredited investor, download that app, register for that, and start watching these companies and what's happening, because this is bigger than just the assets themselves. The picks and shovels behind these companies are doing great things too. And they're the drivers in most cases to a lot of these tokens that have real pain points to solve a problem for, and a real use case that can solve those pain points. So make sure you definitely check that out. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Watch out for that next video. I'm going to lay it down in that as well. Keep an eye out. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, guys. Leave a comment below, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.